Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Analyze This Mess. So go ahead and grab a glass of wine or whatever you like and join me. We're going to see how this goes. Shout out to the mom. All my other bears, I call the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. Please hit the like on your way in. Let's make sure that the sound is good. Is it? Give me a thumbs up if it is. Oh, all right. So I see my moderators as folks are coming in. All right. All right. Come on in. Come on in. Mm. Give you like about 10, 15 more seconds. Sound is good. Great. We're going to see how this goes. Oh, boy. All right. I see Juju and Vicky and Fiva. Yeah. All right. We're good. We'll start off with this. And if we go over to station head, I'll give you, enough time. Heads up. We might. We might. Okay. So, how are we going to do this? The best way I know how. So, welcome to Analyze This Mess. And I don't know if we are calling this, I put DForDeliverUs. Yes, because tonight or earlier, we witnessed something I never thought I'd see. A whole sermon delivered by someone who can't even get through a single sentence without a cuss word or a contradiction tripping over the next one. She said she's tired of flip-floppers. We've heard that before. But every time the truth knocks on her door, she does some type of somersault into a brand new story. She said she's rebuking folks for weaponizing God. But every other word out of her mouth is usually a 4-alarm profanity, fire followed by hello, like she was calling down thunder from Sinai or somewhere. I heard God, devil, lying tongue, this and that, all in the same breath. That's certainly not a testimony. I think it was more like a temper tantrum with some garnish sprinkled around it. She wants to talk about accountability. Let's talk about accountability. Because reading her monologue, the only thing she held accountable was the oxygen in the room. She used every tool except the truth when it comes to her. Victimhood, insults, Bible verses I heard, imaginary receipts, everything except the one thing she owes everyone: consistency. And since she's suddenly the minister of accountability, let's see if the message she's preaching applies to her own life on Monday, December 15th, when the court expects her legal name. Because you can't rebuke Val, Marcella, Mel, and all of the others, and the entire let's just call it zodiac sign chart, but you cannot rebuke a federal judge. Or I should have said you can, but you can't rebuke a federal judge. That robe don't blink. And just like she said tonight, forgiveness and accountability are two different things. Well, we'll find out on Monday if everything is like it is today. Whether the woman who just delivered a 20-minute spiritual drag session can walk into the courthouse, or maybe there will be someone here in Detroit and deliver a message, a legal name, a postal address, and take accountability for her own actions. Because if you can rebuke half the internet, surely you can tell the judge your name. Amen. Good night. Oh, I don't know. Flip floppers. She's called a few. Well, tonight is DForDeliverUs, because according to Danielle, her gospel is the accountability she forgot.
Whatever you need.
I mean, you would have thought, I'm telling you. She said she was raised in the church and she was giving a sermon. Oh, yes, she was. I thought I would never hear such a delivery. I mean, I just had to pause for a minute, because one of the things that was said, this was said, and I'm going to quote, "But one thing thou said," when she said, "Oh, they said leave God out," she misquoted what I said. I would never tell anyone that's a Christian or anyone to leave God out of any situation. I would say because he's always around anyway. So there ain't no way you can just say God is anytime. When I say leave God out, I say don't blame God for your actions, because what you're doing is not holy and of God, and God wouldn't tell you to do anything you're doing. So you don't need to try to blame God and say God told you this and God said that and that, like he's speaking directly through your lying tongue. Let's talk about it, because God don't speak through a lying tongue. I was like, yes, she said she's raised in church. So she knows. She absolutely knows, because she was preaching a sermon In case you missed it, maybe we'll go over to Station Head and listen to about 10 minutes of it. But the reason I read that part, she said, again, I'm going to read she misquoted. She's talking about Val. She misquoted what I said. I would never tell anyone that a Christian or anyone to leave God out of any situation. That's not true. That is not true. She said, I would say because he's always around. No. No, Val didn't misquote you. How do I know Val didn't misquote you? And I'm not taking up for anybody, but I have a receipt. I have an exact receipt where you said exactly that. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm going to let people hear it. I'm going to read this part. This was from a video. It was called Blue Waffle and Teddy Bundy, Scammers and Fraudsters. I'm starting at 1:30:54. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to this sentence just after that. God will tell her when to stop. God is not telling you to harass an innocent person. That has nothing to do with you. Telling you to get on here and try to act like you're better than everybody else. She's talking to Tails. Mm-hmm. Because you said you have a clean record when it turns out you actually don't have a clean record. You have a misdemeanor charge, right, Gina? God is not telling you on here to lie and to make up BS. So you need to leave God out of your stuff. But of course you want to bring God into it because you want to pull on the heartstrings of Christians. Your exact words. And not only did she say it once, she said it multiple times. Y'all know I have a receipt, and that's why I thought maybe we should hear this because people are going to say this one is powerful. It's an exact way she was chastising and rebuking Val, telling her to leave God out of it. She said she doesn't say that. She wouldn't say that. No. She says, now, don't try to tell me because I grew up in a church, ma'am. Don't try to tell me God is using you to do anything. There's all this chaos and all this wickedness. Because when I tell people to leave God out, just like I do, If I get on here and I do something that I know God would not approve of, I'm not going to bring God into it because I know He ain't approving of my actions. Then she says, hello. And I say, I don't weaponize God. What I mean by don't weaponize God is when people are coming to you and they're saying, you know, Val, why did you lie to the sector? Why did you say this or that? But my point here is in this sermon, and it was a sermon. I listened to this part. Remember when she said in 2022, if Jesus doesn't take the wheel? Y'all remember that? And I said, he's not driving that car. She knows he's not driving that car. But you need to hear, if you didn't hear, the rebuke when it had to do like preaching. But I wonder, since she wants to hold Val accountable, and I'm not judging what Val's doing, or that's not my point at all. She was a stern rebuke about accountability. But on Monday, if everything stays the same, I wonder, is she going to give her identity to the court? Otherwise, it will be the hypocrisy in her own words. You guys need to hear this. Because there are 3 days left and some hours to tell the truth. Tomorrow is Friday. The weekend, the court's closed. And if nothing comes down tomorrow, then that leaves one day. Would the judge have a sudden ruling on the day? The deadline? I said I don't know what will happen. But the clock, it's counting down. And the rebuke that I heard, I mean, this rebuke about accountability. Yeah, I think people need to hear this. Will she hold herself accountable to the judge has given her an order? Will she be accountable? Will she show up? Will she comply? Since she preached so hard about accountability. Yeah. We could pause for 10 minutes. You can join me on D for Danielle. Because I want you to hear this. I want you to hear the exact quote that I shared to say that Val didn't get that wrong when she said, leave God out. And Danielle came back and said she would never say that. She said it. She did say the exact words. Okay. I could play it now and then I'd have to delete, and restart. Okay. But I'm not going to take any chances on getting a strike on this channel. Mm-mm. So maybe we should just go ahead and I won't even put anything up unless, let's see if I remember how to do this. Mhm. You want to hear it? D for Danielle on station head. And you don't have to have a, follow me. You just need to hit the link. Let me try to get the link. Okay. And let me play something while I bring that link up. Yep. Because we need to hear this. So I can give my commentary when we come back. Let's see here. Okay. I am back. I have my Gatorade. And I'm trying to fix the sound. Let's see. Okay. So, is there a moral to that story? The moral to that story might not come in for, one of the morals is be careful what you say because the receipts keep receipting. I knew I'd heard it somewhere when she denied having said, leave God out of it. She said she would never say that. Yeah, she said it multiple times. It's throughout these videos. As I mentioned, I don't know everything that I have, but things that I know I've heard, yeah, if I can find them, it just contradicted. It was a contradiction. It debunked what she told Val. She said, I would never say that. That's not true. She did say it. Yeah. But the bigger part is accountability. Will she hold herself to her own standards that she expects others to be held to? You couldn't hear until the show was over. All right. Everyone else, let's see. You don't need a subscription to music. And I didn't play music, so it was just talk. I don't know if you were listening through your phone or, if you, didn't check the volume, or I think everyone else, the sound was good. I could see the, yeah. Everything was fine? Yeah. Your phone. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. And maybe the next time, the video is up. So if you want to go and listen to it over on Station Head, it's still there. Yeah. Um, I may leave it on. Yeah, for it's up there. Yeah. hmm I thought that one was important. I haven't been over there in a while. For you to hear it for yourself as a receipt. Yeah. hmm All right. It is 11 o'clock and it's been an hour and 13. Yeah. So I think I'm going to leave it right there. Um, I'll definitely have to edit this video because, there will be a period where there is just a blank sound. So I will do that and make it live again. Yeah. Or maybe, yeah, because it takes like 24 hours. I'll just leave it up. Yeah. Both videos. And then in the morning, I will edit the dead space out. Yeah. Question, you say, it's not me, says, wonder if Evie will continue to let her and her friends chastise her and allow it. Now that I have a little better understanding what went on, I don't have a whole lot of commentary on that except to say that one of the things that Danielle mentioned is they're trying to piece together things that were true and things that have been said that are lies. All right. And some receipts they say they don't have. Okay. Like things that she's claiming. Um, and, you know, I I have taken vow since I've been around, like some of us from the beginning, and I have never said anything that would doubt her. All right, I've never said no, that's not true, or that. Okay, because of my background and all of that, I don't really give commentary on that except to say, I hope a person, gets treatment or whatever they need, help, recovery, something like that. So I remember when Trees um, went off, if you want to put it that way. She gave commentary on Val. I remember it. It was at the end of 2021. It sure was. In beginning, all right, of 2022. And I just found that incredible. I did. If anyone remembers, because I said, wow, Trees is a nurse. I wonder why she would say such things. Does anyone remember me? I was kind of shocked, because that's someone's, health or whatever. Looking back, again, I'm not going to pass any judgment because I don't know. I don't know anybody's records. And, you know, she said she was in the hospital. She was in the hospital. I remember there was a fundraiser for Val. Does anyone remember that? Or it was Cash App, or it was something. Remember? I won't say the name of the person who was collecting money, but do you remember? They were collecting money, and Danielle had played gospel music. And do y'all remember that? hmm So when people say things are missing pieces, there were so many different examples of when Val was having complaints. We'll just say complaints. Yeah. Health complaints or scares or whatever. I don't, again, I'm really not going to have any commentary on whether something is real or not. But now the situation got to the point where all of this came out. And what has happened, and I heard some of Val's commentary, is when, if you've told a lie, and this is really, really important, things, big lies like that, when you tell the truth and you know it's the truth, people may doubt it because you're mixing lies and truth. So they don't know what to believe. And you can tell if Val is saying something that she knows is truth, that's what hurts her, because now the credibility is being questioned. Right? But if you go back to all these tapes and everything, I've always said this. People, they need you until they don't need you. In the way they can treat you. Because she says, why is everybody ganging up on her? This is what she feels. She talks about, the sector. Why is she being she feels like she's catching the weight, for everything. And she thinks it's unfair. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So they want to hold her accountable. It's not enough that she said she was sorry over and over. I haven't heard all these confessions, but this is what I understand. She's saying, what more do you want me to do? Well, apparently, they want her to be held accountable. She said she, took responsibility. Again, I haven't been following as close. Holding her feet to the fire. That's what Danielle has been doing and everyone else. Holding her feet to the fire. If someone holds others to the fire, they remember what she said. If you listen, if you say things, people are going to talk about it. If you say anything about Danielle and it's not true, what she said, if you bring it to attention with receipts like I did specifically, is she going to accept it? Is she going to deny it? Is she going to be held accountable when there are real receipts? And she says, I lie about everything. I bring receipts. You just haven't heard them. But that one I thought was important enough that you should hear it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because when I say I have receipts, I have receipts. So accountability, yeah. She was preaching tonight. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She said she'd been raised in church. Mm-hmm. So she knows. She called things out. She said wicked. She has called so many people wicked. Mm-hmm. Her point was, well, I don't use God, I don't say God told me this or that. That was her message to Val. She said when she does something, she tells herself to do it. So she knows what she's doing. When it's wrong, she knows what she's doing. She knows the hurt, the harm. She knows what she's doing. It's deliberate. And if you heard these tapes and the things that she said that she would do and have done, it would shock you. It would shock you. Yeah. So accountability. It's yeah. All right. It is 11:09. I think I'm going to leave it right there. I can check email real quick and see if there's anything out there. We're good. She'll never hold herself accountable. No. Because she thinks she has everyone scared of her. Because she's anonymous too. She's anonymous. She's not going to hold herself accountable. This will be the biggest test of them all. The biggest test. If everything, if we get to Monday, if we get through tomorrow, Monday, she's expected not to write a brief and turn all of that in. I'm talking about what the judge is looking for. Accountability, a response, and it's simple. Her legal name and address, postal address. And it doesn't take a week, 2 days, or 3 days to prepare that information. There should be no excuse that it's late. It should be there on the deadline. It could have been turned in by now, but by the deadline. And I already know if she's going to turn in that information, it's going to be right at the end of the day, sometime in the afternoon. It won't be in the morning. No. She's going to wait to the very last minute. And do you know what that means? I'm going to say it's not going to be mailed in. No, I don't think it's going to be mailed in. Like she's mailing it in tomorrow so it hits, or it's going to be FedEx. I don't know. I don't think she'll mail it in unless she knows it's going to get there on Monday. She might. I can't say for sure. Also, I thought about this. Unless she seals it in an envelope, because she says she's not here in Michigan. Somebody else is delivering that for her. The information. So it'll be in an envelope sealed, I'm sure. So she would be giving that very valuable information to someone that she trusts. If it's not a courier, you know what I mean? All comments, yes, are allegedly. Allegedly. So that person, whoever she gives that information to, she's going to trust them. Okay, so be careful what names and things that we're putting in the chat. So can you just, I'll just take that comment up real quick. I'll just delete it. I'm not putting you in timeout. I'm just deleting the comment. Um, Whoever it is, someone here in Detroit most likely is going to, you know, yeah, if it's not a courier, right? Or she might have a courier to have proof that she delivered. Yeah, thank you. It's not me. Um, so I don't know. We got to get to Monday. No, it's all right. We got to get to Monday. And on some level, I'm glad she gave that long sermon about accountability. Yeah. And she talked about the right thing, doing the right thing. I mean, she went in. I didn't play all of it. Like, it's so important to be accountable. And she's been preaching this accountability since she's been on this platform. But it's do as I say, not as I do, because she has not been held accountable at all. She hasn't held herself accountable at all. No. She hasn't held herself accountable for, she said, the lies that she's told to YouTube. She hasn't held herself accountable for that. And I'm not going to say things I don't have a receipt for. I'm not going to say things to defame or slander. That's just calling into question. These are things that she has said. She has said, I lied to YouTube. I did this and I did that. She put links to pictures that she created. She hasn't been held accountable for that. She hasn't been held accountable for calling the police 5 times and sending them. She hasn't been held accountable for that. She hasn't been held accountable for contacting the medical board and sending reports, 10 reports or 9 reports, and others have sent. She hasn't been held accountable for that. In fact, she's trying to evade accountability. So she, in my mind, she is not trying to be held accountable, because right, even up until now, she's trying to fight jurisdiction. Yeah, that's it. Anyone else? Let's see. Let's go. You know, I see the comment about if she uses, again, I will not be shocked at anything except if she complies. There might be one other thing that could shock me, I won't say. But if she tries to submit something and it's not, and it's someone else's identity, or it's not her legal identity, I think these things will be confirmed. I'll have to trust the process. But that would be a grave mistake. That would be, lying to a federal judge, that's breaking the law. There would be serious consequences to that. So I don't know. I'm going to, that's why I leave room for the benefit of the doubt, like maybe she'll surprise us. I didn't say it's not going to happen. Someone is asking. I wouldn't put all my money on it, but I don't know what's going to happen. We got to get through tomorrow and Monday. Yeah. I don't put anything past her. Impersonation, anything. 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 Because of the history. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, because she said she will never be found. And that she would disappear. So maybe she'll surprise us. All right. They already know who she is. Let her think she's smarter than the court. You know, people have not. You can look at different cases. There have been people who have not followed orders. It's taken some time, but eventually, they get to it. Yeah, the layers. Yeah. Yeah, if she complies. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be some game playing. There has been game playing. Yeah. You notice John Doe, he's been awfully quiet. John Doe, by the way, I don't want to launch into a long, but John Doe said he knows who she is. This other anonymous person. Yeah, John Doe said he knows. So I'm not going to tell you what that could mean. But John Doe admitted he knows who she is. Because one, she's on the account, or at least he has given her access to it. Again, keep in mind, John Doe is anonymous. He says he's a man, and he says she's a woman, all right? Okay, but we don't know any of it. So, and John Doe right now, he can remain anonymous. Unless he wants to say something in the court, he has to ask for leave to remain anonymous. Right? So he's sitting quiet. That's it. I won't fill in the blank. All right. That's it for me. It's 11:22. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on the way out. Yeah, this was important tonight. Thank you for being patient with me and all of it. It is DForDeliverUs. Analyze this mess. Yeah. But now it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.